Hello everyone. Every page tells a new story. Welcome to the world of endless animation. The movie begins in Japan with a student named Takahata. Takahata, who was distinguished among the students because he was a smart student. And because he was very smart, he felt bored in his life. So he was bored, and he wants any challenge in his life to be excited. His wish is fulfilled. Suddenly, while he was in the classroom and the teacher was writing on the blackboard, the teacher's head exploded, and in his place came out a strange talking toy called Daruma. And this toy enters with the students in a challenge is that if she turns her face and sees any student moving, she will immediately blow their head off. But if the doll turns her back, the students are allowed to move freely. Now, the Daruma doll turns her face, spots a student moving, and kills them. Anyone who gets scared and runs also dies instantly. Afterward, the doll turns her face again and keeps repeating her name. The remaining students are terrified, asking, "What do we do?" When Daruma kills a student, small red orbs come out of them. Two students try to wait for Daruma to turn before running to open the door, but they discover the door is locked and they are trapped. Daruma turns again and kills those two students, causing the others to scream in fear. But there's one student named Sukadi who remains calm and says, "I know this game. This is the Daruma game. We are trapped in it until it kills us all. But there's a button on the doll's back. If we press it, the challenge will end." One student makes a big mistake and runs to press the button, but Daruma senses him, turns quickly, and kills him. This was Daruma's strategy, to speak slowly and sense anyone approaching, then turn quickly to kill them. Then the students notice there's a timer on the doll's back, showing they have 1 minute left. If the minute runs out, all the students will die. So all the students try to get closer to Daruma to press the button, but some slip on the orbs scattered on the ground. The doll turns and kills them. The classroom turns into a scene of corpses. Only 10 seconds remain, and only Takahata and Sukadi are left. They decide to come up with a plan to win the challenge. The plan is for Sukadi to crouch, while Takahata jumps off his back quickly toward the doll to press the button. Indeed, Takahata succeeds at the last second. The doll falls and becomes frustrated that it was defeated and lost the challenge. Takahata and Sukadi rejoice at surviving, but suddenly, Sukadi explodes. Daruma tells Takahata, "You pressed the button, so you're the only one who won the challenge." Takahata is in disbelief at what just happened. Daruma also tells him, "The cat is still coming," hinting at the next challenge. Suddenly, the classroom door opens. Ichika, Takahata's friend, appears in shock. Takahata approaches her to reassure her. Ichika tells him that she was also in a Daruma challenge. When she pressed the button, all her classmates died. Takahata responds, "The same thing happened to me. We need to call the police." But when he takes out his phone, there's no signal. They both run out of the school, but all the doors are locked. Takahata tries to break the glass, but it doesn't shatter. They find one last door that opens, leading them to the gymnasium. As soon as they enter, the door shuts behind them, trapping them again. But they are not alone. There are other students. Some of them are wearing mouse costumes. Takahata realizes they are in a new challenge. Written on the ground are the words, "Get the ball into the basket to win." Suddenly the ground shakes, and a giant cat statue emerges. The cat immediately eats a student wearing a mouse costume and starts moving toward any student wearing the costume, devouring them. This challenge is even harder than the previous one. The students run in fear. The cat chases Takahata and Ichika, but doesn't eat them because they aren't wearing mouse costumes. Ichika notices a ball rolling on the ground. Takahata sees the hoop on the giant cat and realizes they need to get the ball into the cat's basket. Takahata explains this to the students. A skilled basketball player asks Ichika to pass him the ball. When he gets the ball, he throws it toward the cat's basket. It almost goes in, but the cat blocks it, grabs the ball, and throws it back at the student with full force, slamming him into the wall and killing him. The cat then looks at Takahata, but doesn't eat him. It focuses on students wearing mouse costumes. Takahata realizes the cat eats anyone wearing the costume, so he warns the students to take them off. The students comply, thinking they are now safe. But suddenly, the cat moves again and starts eating anyone this time. The students run around the gym in fear. Ichika finds the ball near her. The ball has a timer on it, showing 3 minutes left. At that moment, the cat approaches Ichika to eat her. Seeing his friend about to die, Takahata quickly puts on a mouse costume to save her. The cat leaves Ichika and chases Takahata instead. Takahata keeps distracting the cat, running left and right, and asks someone to throw him the ball. But all the students are too scared to do so, fearing they'll end up like the basketball player. Takahata starts hearing strange sounds and realizes that because he's wearing the mouse costume, he can understand the cat. The cat wants someone to scratch its back so it can sleep. Takahata climbs onto the cat's back, grabs a rope there, and starts scratching. The cat enjoys this and stops attacking. It wants Takahata to keep scratching. Takahata asks the other students to help him. Ichika joins him, and when the other students see it working, they climb onto the cat's back and do the same. The cat eventually falls asleep. Takahata grabs the ball and prepares to throw it into the basket, but the other students argue and fight over who should throw it, fearing that the one who scores will be the only survivor. Their loud arguing wakes the cat, which kills two students with its claws. Takahata realizes there isn't enough time to put the cat back to sleep, so he comes up with a brilliant idea. He takes a broken basketball and asks Ichika to grab the cat's ball and go behind the changing room. The two of them return, each holding a ball wrapped in mouse costumes. They approach the cat from different directions. The cat is confused about which ball to focus on. Takahata accidentally reveals he's holding a regular basketball, so the cat realizes Ichika has the real ball. It grabs her ball and blocks it, but this turns out to be part of Takahata's plan. While the cat is distracted by Ichika's ball, Takahata throws his ball, which contains the cat's ball inside, toward the basket. Unfortunately, the ball doesn't go in. Everyone thinks they've lost the challenge, but suddenly, a student named Amaya appears from behind the cat and scores the ball in the basket, winning the challenge in the final second. The cat stops completely and declares the game over, and it starts working again after a few seconds, announcing that the winners are Takahata, Etika, and Amaya, with no other students' names mentioned. Takahata asks what will happen to the remaining students, and suddenly, Amaya kills the losing students because he was a crazy person who believed in living in a world where the strong prevail over the weak. He approaches Takahata and Etika saying, "We are the winners, so we deserve to live in a world where the strong prevail over the weak." Etika tells him, "You're crazy, and you can't compare yourself to us." Amaya gets upset by this and heads toward Etika, but Takahata intervenes and stops him. Then, the cat sprays white smoke and the three students disappear. The news reports show that similar challenges are happening in schools worldwide, with approximately 10 million students dead. Broadcasters begin covering the disappearance of students, and some journalists claim aliens are responsible. Giant cubes appear and float in the sky. In the cube over Japan, Takahata finds himself and sees an old friend from another school named Tokusa, whom he used to date. Besides Tokusa, there are two other students from different schools named Tara and Taka, who survived the Daruma and Cat challenges at their schools. Takahata notices that all the students here have names starting with the letter T. He assumes there are other groups of survivors whose names start with specific letters. Takahata recalls that both Etika and Amaya have names starting with the same letter, which makes him worry they might be in the same group. However, the door to their group is locked, leaving him with no choice. He knocks on the door, shouting in hopes that someone will hear him, but Tara stops him. Tara, an arrogant genius, tells Takahata that no one will come to help them. He shows Takahata a 3D image of the news explaining what's happening, and Takahata realizes they are inside the cubes that appeared worldwide. Tara tells him, "We're trapped here, and all we can do is wait for the next challenge." Suddenly, there's a knock on the door, and four strange floating dolls enter, announcing the third challenge, which is harder than the previous ones. One of the dolls asks Tara to start the game. Overconfident, Tara agrees. The dolls explain the game. Tara must sit on the ground with his eyes covered while they spin around him, singing. When the song ends, they will ask him who is standing behind him. Tara gets nervous and answers incorrectly, losing the game. One of the dolls shoots a laser at Tara, taking full control of his body. They force Tara to bang his head on the ground repeatedly until he dies. After Tara's death, the dolls ask Taka to play next, but she refuses. Terrified, the dolls warn her that if she doesn't play, she'll die immediately. Left with no choice, Taka plays, covering her eyes while the dolls spin and sing around her. When asked who is behind her, Taka hesitates out of fear, and the dolls declare her a loser. She tries to escape, but is surrounded by the dolls, and one of them shoots a laser at her. This time, the dolls force Taka to open her legs and pull her apart until her bones break and her body splits in two. After Taka's death, the dolls choose Takusa, but Takahata volunteers to play instead. The dolls agree. They spin and sing around Takahata, then ask him who is behind him. To everyone's surprise, Takahata answers correctly. The dolls are shocked and ask how he knew. He explains that he memorized their movements while watching them play with Taka and Tara. After Takahata wins, the dolls vanish, leaving behind a key. Takahata and Tokusa take the key and leave the room, encountering another student running with a key, chased by one of the dolls. The student warns them to hold hands because the doll kills students standing alone. When the doll sees them holding hands, it leaves to search for another lone student. Now, Takahata's team has two keys. They hear a noise and move toward it, finding Etika being chased by a doll. Takahata leaves his group and runs to save Etika, grabbing her hand at the last second before the doll can kill her. A large wooden head appears on the wall with a timer and 7 key slots. The wooden head speaks, saying 7 people must insert the 7 keys. Takahata's team meets 2 other students who have 2 keys, bringing their total to 6 people and 4 keys. They realize they're 1 person and 3 keys short, with only 2 minutes left. Suddenly, someone throws 3 keys toward them. It's Amaya, accompanied by another student. Since they're now 8 people, Amaya kills the student with him to make them 7, explaining, "I only needed him to hold hands so the doll wouldn't kill me." Although Takahata doesn't want Amaya to join them, he has no choice. They insert the 7 keys into the wooden head, which announces the challenge is over and tells them to change their clothes before disappearing. A tunnel opens, and they pass through it, arriving on the other side, a snowy area. The ground shakes, and a white polar bear bear appears, performing a show before stopping. The bear says, "I hate lies. This challenge is about answering my questions truthfully. If anyone lies, you must identify the liar or sacrifice someone to proceed to the next stage." After explaining the rules, the bear asks, "What's your favorite food?" The team thinks it's an easy question, and each person answers. However, the bear smells a lie, saying, "I smell deceit." The bear gives them 2 minutes to identify the liar or sacrifice someone. At this point, everyone starts accusing each other. Then, Kokum blinks at the student, because when he answered, he said, "My favorite meal is vegetables, and vegetables aren't even a complete meal." The student kept insisting, "I'm not lying. I really love vegetables." But in the end, the bear and the others doubted him. So the bear crushes the student and kills him. Then the bear moves on to the second question. He asks them if they like Takahata. Since Ichika and Tokusa admire Takahata, they say, "We like him." Amaya also says, "I like him," and the rest of the students say, "We like him." After everyone answers, the bear says, "One of you is lying." Ichika immediately accuses Amaya, saying, "Amaya doesn't like anyone." The two start arguing, while Takahata wonders why anyone would lie when the bear will find out anyway. The bear then says to Takahata, "Bravo, you figured it out. One of you is an alien disguised as a human, and they've been lying from the start. You must figure out who it is and eliminate them, or else they'll be the reason you all die." After the bear says this, one of the students accuses Tokusa, saying, "It can't be me or my friend. We're both from the same school. Takahata, Ichika, and Amaya are from the same school, so you're the only one different among us. We have to sacrifice you." But Takahata and Ichika defend her. Time starts running out, and the two students from the same school, along with Amaya, choose Tokusa. The majority's decision prevails, and the bear crushes Tokusa and kills her. Takahata is shocked that his old love has died, leaving behind only a pool of blood. The bear prepares to ask the next question, but Takahata stops him and says, "I know who the liar is." The bear is surprised and listens to Takahata. He's even more shocked when Takahata points at him and accuses him of being the liar. He says, "Tokusa helped me figure it out because her blood removed the white paint you sprayed on yourself. This means your true color is black, so you're the liar and deceiver from the beginning." It turns out none of the people who died were liars. The bear was merely convincing the students that there was a liar or an alien among them, just to kill them all. The bear becomes furious that Takahata uncovered his secret. He tries to attack and crush the students, but they escape. Eventually, the bear falls into a hot area, his body burns, and the paint on him melts. In the end, the bear accepts defeat and declares their victory in the challenge. Afterward, the students are transported to the new location for the next challenge. A small puppet appears and welcomes them, saying, "This is the final challenge. One of you will be chosen and called Okuma." Okuma will take this box and place it in the red circle on the ground. Meanwhile, the rest of the students will hide, and Okuma will start searching for you. When Okuma sees someone, they will shout their name loudly, capture them, and put them in a cell. If Okuma captures 3 or more students, they win. But if any student manages to kick the box, they will free all the students in the cell. However, you should know that the box contains a bomb. If someone kicks it, the bomb will explode, killing them. This means that person will sacrifice themselves to save the others. The puppet concludes by saying, "The challenge won't end until sunset, about an hour away. If Okuma hasn't captured 3 or more people by then, they lose." After explaining the rules, one of the puppets brings out 5 wooden sticks to choose the student who will become Okuma. To the student's misfortune, Okuma turns out to be Amaya, the craziest and most evil among them. The game begins, and all the students scatter to hide. Amaya takes the box, places it in the red circle, and starts searching for the students. He quickly finds the 2 students from the other school. The 2 try to fight Amaya, but he's stronger than them. He overpowers them and throws them into the cell. Takahata and Ichika witness this from afar, but Amaya spots them and discovers their location. Amaya heads straight for them. Takahata decides to act and ties a rope to escape through the window, but Amaya arrives quickly. Ichika realizes they won't have time to escape, so she sacrifices herself to buy Takahata some time. Amaya captures Ichika and then rushes to capture Takahata. Takahata, however, manages to escape. Knowing Amaya will guard the box, Takahata searches for a hiding spot. Amaya calls out to Takahata, trying to convince him to come out, promising not to capture him. He says, "I've already captured 3 people so we can both win together." But Takahata doesn't believe him and searches for something he can use. He finds a suit of armor. Takahata emerges wearing the armor to protect himself from the explosion when he kicks the box. However, the armor is very heavy and restricts his movement. Moreover, Takahata looks awkward and his sword falls to the ground. He retreats to the edge of the castle, defenseless. Amaya removes his helmet and mocks him, but is surprised to find that Takahata has tied him with chains. It turns out everything was part of Takahata's plan from the start. Takahata managed to tie the chain to Amaya's body when he removed the helmet. This prevents Amaya from reaching the box. Takahata speaks, saying, "I used to find life boring and wanted to change, but after everything that happened, these games made me realize the value of the life I had. I was foolish, but unfortunately, Humans don't appreciate the blessings they have. Because of these games, I lost my friends. Takahata then throws himself off the castle, pulling Amaya with him. Below, Takahata escapes from the armor and climbs back up. Amaya struggles to lift the heavy armor in time and frees himself from the chains. He tries to stop Takahata, but Takahata manages to kick the box, freeing his teammates. Everyone braces for an explosion, but none occurs. It turns out there was no bomb in the box. Moments later, the sun sets, ending the challenge. The puppets appear and announce Takahata as the winner. They reveal they lied about the bomb, saying it was only to make the challenge more exciting. Amaya is upset about losing and because he will die, but the puppets reveal that the final challenge was just a game and no one will die. Fireworks light up the sky, marking the celebration. The students are happy that they are finally getting out alive. The bride gives them ice cream as a gift for their victory. Takahata eats the ice cream and thinks with Ichika about what they will do once they get out. After talking for a long time, Takahata notices some writing on the ice cream stick, but he doesn't pay much attention and continues talking with Ichika. However, Ichika starts crying after she reads the writing on her stick. It said, "You lost and you will die." The puppet speaks again, saying that every challenge they entered required skill and intelligence, but in the end, luck is what determines who lives and who dies. She also says that every ice cream they received had the fate of each one of them written on it. Ichika's fate was to die. Takahata looks at his stick and his luck was good. He would live. Amaya would also live. The other two students would die. After each person's fate was determined, Ichika and the two students are hit by a laser from one of the brides, causing them to evaporate and die. With that, all the challenges and games come to an end. Takahata and Amaya are transported to the top of the cube that flew over Japan, and everyone cheers for them because they managed to survive. But Takahata is deeply sad because he lost his beloved Ichika. And with that, the movie ends. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification button so you never miss an updates. See you in the next video.